Hello. Sorry, I'm late. I don't know why. Other than I probably turned off my alarm and went to sleep. Today we have a few things to talk about, but first let's catch up with chat. What's going on in Chatteroni? Because I'm late, so we have a lot to catch up. Hi Theater, hi Jarno, hi Rob, hi Simon, hi Ian, hi Tampan? Hi Destroyer. Hi Anxiety, hello. Hi Rob. Hi Kappa. Oh. Thanks for subscribing. Am I in studio mode? There we go, we turn that off. Is someone asking where can you get the model? Hi, username is in Roblox. Hello? Hi, Guardian Soul. Are you talking about like my specific model? Oh, hi, Soy Boy. Thank you for becoming a pie. Thank you. Hi, Koala Wolf. Or should I say Kai? I think you could change your username, possibly. Hi, Madhaha. Hi, Yuta. All right. So, before we get started into the Oculus Quest stuff that I want to talk about, my gloves. So, hi Dan. Hello. So my gloves. So I suspected it was a cold solder joint. So, you know how like things have micro USB ports, right? Well, it stopped charging, but it was still turning on. So I was just suspecting it was a cold solder joint, and I looked closely as I was putting the USB cable in and out, right? I was sticking it in and out of the port. I noticed that the port was oddly free moving from the inside. So, I'm like looking at it, and it's like it's actually moving around. So I'm like, that can't be good. So I just quickly just opened it up without causing any damage. I just opened it up, and then sure enough, the micro USB connector that is supposed to be connected to the PCB is no longer connected. So if you know how like general most computers are made, they have like a board, right? So just picture a plastic piece of board, and then what they'll do is they'll have like these little tiny pieces of solder, so like these little silver things to like weld the connection on. And then what they'll do is they'll place all the components on top first, and then they'll heat up the board a little bit so that the solder will melt. And this is generally done for a lot of like small delicate electronics, right? So they did this for the micro USB port. And then they put hot glue on top. They put hot glue on a port that you're supposed to be using every time you use it. Hot glue. That was the only thing securing it is hot glue. Yeah, the pad was ripped clean off the board. No, they added hot glue on afterwards. They are $700 US. So they're not budget. And remember, these are developer gloves. This is their newest revision of their gloves. The newest revision. If you had $400 headphones at that, you probably bought a bad pair of headphones. I know more about headphones than I do about gloves. Headphones are pretty established right now. Gloves are not. Well, instead, I emailed them like 2 weeks ago, right? And I got no response from. I normally would get a response within a day. No response. Because I had a direct contact there. But I also emailed the main one. So I did the scummy thing. I added them on Twitter because I couldn't DM them on Twitter. Because I didn't have the ability to add them. Because they had their DMs turned off. So I added them. I added them and I basically said, I bought your gloves. The USB port fell out. I emailed you and no one's responding. And what do you know? Instant response. Instant. So, I'm gonna be emailing them later today now, or I'll be DMing them later today because I am now in their DMs. I deleted the @tweet because it served its purpose. I just wanted to get their attention so that they can message me. And basically, I've wanted to do a video on those gloves. I don't know if I should. I think if I were to do a glove, let's say in the worst case, like if I were to do a glove video, I would probably make a video about why you shouldn't buy gloves. That's probably what I would make the video on. And I'll probably say that I have a Korean pair of gloves, but I won't say the name of the company. That would probably be the best way to do it. Because we'll see. We'll see. Because like I basically, you can't just make a hit piece on something, right? Well, I'm not gonna threaten them with it, and I'm not gonna tell them I want to make a video on this. But like I have been wanting to make a video on gloves. And there are legitimate reasons why you shouldn't buy them. Like how all gloves that are under $2,000 are non-washable. That's a really good reason. Right? Right? I have a big list of why you shouldn't buy gloves. It does. They don't have it. That they don't. They're trying to push for a lot of things at once. I know so on their website it has their address, right? And I just can see their address, and for as someone who's lived in Korea for like 6 years, I know exactly how their business operates. They're basically a bunch of like university people that made something innovative for Korea, and their business is like run out of a small room in a building. And I don't think their end goal is to sell gloves. I think their end goal is to sell their sensors. It doesn't say that that's their end goal, but I'm pretty sure that's their end goal. Anyways, well, most Korean businesses are like that. Yeah, I'm not gonna do a negative video. Like, but I will do a video on why you shouldn't buy gloves, which is, I'm not gonna like specifically like put a company on blast, if that makes sense. I've been also like debating, there's another company that I particularly am not a fan of their terms of service, and I've been having a huge dilemma over doing a video about them. But I will. I'll try to be as fair and as balanced as possible, because I try generally when it comes down to me doing reviews, I'm very, this is my opinion, and if I think that something's bad for a reason that I believe is bad and it could be good for someone else, I'll just make a video basically completely blasting it. And that's why I haven't really done reviews on videos before, because I lack that ability to be balanced. Oh, also, I know I was late, but today's stream is also going to be a shorter stream. I'm going to start trying to make my YouTube streams a little bit shorter, so like they're going to cap at 3 hours maximum. But I'm going to try to start, I want to break into a new time zone. So on Twitch, maybe not today, but soon, we will start doing evening streams on Tuesday. Oh yeah, if it was a large company and they pushed, yeah, basically if this was like HTC and HTC was releasing these gloves, I would crucify them. Yeah, exactly. But it's a small company, which is probably like 10 people max. Hi, Laylee. The Lucid VR gloves, I just don't have the time for them now. Okay, so can I just tell you guys something extra? I've signed another NDA with another company, so I don't know if I'm going to be employed by this other company, but I have signed another NDA for another company. So I might be very busy. If this goes through, then we'll see. It depends on how busy I'll be. It might mean that my commission, so what I want to do now for as part of my commissions is I want to start being more known for doing clothing design, I guess. I also have a friend that I know that I'm trying to get really, really into it as well. So for clothing design for VTubers. I will also still do facial tracking commissions, but the thing is, like, if this other gig comes through, then all my prices are going to raise because I'm just going to have less time. Oh, because of this. So this is, here, let me show you. Can I make it big? Can I embiggen you? Okay, so this is a piece of clothing that I purchased on CG Trader, it's made in Marvelous Designer. And basically last stream on Twitch, I made people suffer so much that they're like, Fofa, you need to use the tool that you paid for. It makes things so much easier. Stop doing it by hand, you dummy. And so I did. And then this is the end result. And this was actually the biggest pain point for using Marvelous Designer. Was retopo, because for me it usually took hours to do retopo. Doing retopo on this like is under an hour if I'm really quick. Yeah, look, this is the original. So hold on. So not here. Just wait for it. Here, this is the original. Look at this topology. And then it is changed to this. So probably what I'm gonna do when I try to do clothing commissions is like the very first person I do, I'm probably gonna have one slot and it's gonna be at a low price, but I'll probably accept, it'll probably be open and I'm just gonna choose who I think I could do for clothing, because I'm gonna need a reference, because I'm not gonna design the clothes for them. That's just too much work. Basically, if they already have a reference for clothing, I'm going to just set a commission price like super low, because they're going to be my first person, just so that I can see if this is something that I want to do. Because like designing something for myself and doing something for myself is different than someone else, right? And then if and there's going to be like, since it's my first one, there's going to be there's going to be a caveat of it could take as long as possible, or yeah, it could take a long time, or I could cancel it and then refund you. And then I think for each piece of clothing like design, if someone has like a full entire outfit, it'd probably take like a month. What did I use for retopo? I used retopo flow. I just found it a lot easier to do to get the basic blocking out in retopo flow. Yeah, I think I could, but the problem is with VTuber models is that you'd have to make one for a base model. And there are a few popular base models out there. Yeah, retopo flow is nice. Okay, so what do we want to talk about? Oculus Quest leaks. So where can we start here? So let's start at the prototypes. Actually, let's start way back when Oculus Quest face tracking. All right, so we're gonna start way back here.
Our system.
So this video came out in 2019. 2019. So this is like 2 years ago when this came out, and this is a demonstration of a headset that is in a Quest-like form factor that has full facial tracking. And this is not completely implausible, because the HTC Vive Pro I paired with the lip tracking module gives you full facial tracking as well. Except it looks like Oculus's in-house system has a much better field of view of your entire face, because as you could see, because of how they set it up, they actually have a view of your eyebrows. So I think the reason we're starting with this example video is because I think this is actually really, really important for what's coming soon. Because like, I was just like, for the longest time before any of the Quest, like before the Oculus Connect thing was like really a thing, I'm just like, I really, really hope that Facebook's next headset is gonna have full facial tracking, because this exists. They have this. And like, this shows their entire facial tracking technology, like at work. And like, basically what it does is that it takes the inputted thing, it uses they have like their own algorithm to detect what like someone's face should be like looking like, and then they animate it onto the mesh. And they've done like tons of research on this. It's super cool. All right, so the Quest prototypes. So there was a post about a Dreamer that has, where was it? Where was like the first leak? Let's see if we can find it in this sea of mess. I think I actually, to search for it, I just need to type in Quest Pro leak. Maybe? And we can find it? Yeah, here we go. Which is these Quest controllers. So the leak was someone had a dream about very specifically describing the headset and its controllers, which we can see here. Product X really pulls you into the matter, into the VR. Our next generation all-in-one, completely wireless, lightning-fast performance, ultra-realistic glasses due to new lenses and optics, which is also something they've been working on really hard. Entertainment possibilities are endless, starting with the most immersive action-packed multiplayer games, starting with streaming huge screen, attending live stream events, friends, family, blah, 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 blah. Key concepts. The smallest, lightest, most comfortable, most powerful VR headset ever designed. All-in-one VR headset. 2.2K resolution per eye. And it's going to have mixed reality so that it doesn't exclude you from your friends. And then 2 controllers that are still going to use AA batteries, apparently, and it's going to be $349. So let's look at these controllers. This was posted by someone who said they had a dream and like accurately described everything that was going to be coming out, basically. So if we look at this headset, right? So basically the only thing that's really leaked at this time, we're going back in time a little bit, is the new controller. Hi, shopper. Hi, baby. Hi, baby llama. So the new controller doesn't have the ring anymore. Instead, it has camera sensors like the Quest headset does. And so like when this first came out, I speculated that like this seems pretty possible. It's probably gonna have full like this opens the possibility of easy full body tracking via if you were to have like these ring lights, because these would take more battery and so forth. Because like let's say if you have like a hip tracker or a feet tracker, then these downward facing cameras could track your full body. And that was my speculation at the time. However, then the Quest prototypes were shown off. So there's basically kind of like there's 3 different models here. This is the one that we saw earlier, actually, right here. This is the one we saw earlier with the facial tracking. And then there's this one, which we don't know anything about. And this one. So I think at the time, the speculation was that there's going to be 2 headsets coming out. That there's going to be like a Quest Lite, and then like a Quest Pro. But my hot take on this is, this is the prototype. This is refining the prototype. This is the final product. That's my hot take on that. This is probably the final product right here. But I could be wrong. Okay. And we're going to find out in like 2 days anyway. So let's look at the Quest Pro leaks. So basically their promo videos have been like fully leaked on what they're going to be showing off. Like the quality of this just is too good and too on the nose for it to be not real. So this is them, I guess, showing off like their Horizons thing, right? And like so far there's like nothing really new here other than like they're showing off the apps that you can do, but they're showing off multiplayer. Here is another example of something which is really cool. This is showing off that same headset that we just saw right there. Those controllers. So a couple things to note here, I think, is the 2.2K resolution per eye. I don't think that would have been possible without this. Do I think people would actually have this use case? I don't think so. I don't think the resolution's high enough. But crucially, the controllers, because there's cameras on them, right? They're probably going to be rechargeable because the cameras, these are rumored to have their own XR chip on them. Yeah, Oculus is owned by Facebook. That's something I want to talk about too. So they're going to have their own charging dock. What is this charging dock going to be used for other than charging? I don't know. I think this has some kind of purpose other than just a charging. It could act as like a kind of base station maybe. I think this kind of use case that we're seeing here is, it's technically possible right now. It's just it's not pleasant because the resolution is not high enough. Basically, I think if you wanted to have this kind of a use case and have it look nice, you have to get the Vario, the new Vario one, the new Vario headset that came out for 2000. And here, there's nothing really new. I think this is like pretty standard. We're not seeing anything too new here. They're just kind of showing it off how it could be used for a work case. Now, let's look at this second example that we see here. It's the same headset. And they're showing basically how it could be worked in used as collaborative. Okay, but anyways, this is like, I think the killer, which is right here. So we see the headset, the person with the headset, and yeah, they're customizing their avatar. But look at this. Full body calibration. That has to be full body calibration. Hi, Sly. Oh. I didn't move. What's up? Oh. Okay. You did that to yourself. I didn't move. I didn't realize how far that stuck out. Yeah. No, not with your head. Okay, so there's full body tracking. It's either full body or body odor. Yeah, let's just T-post the spray or armpit juices everywhere. Exactly. But look, it also has facial track. Like, why would they spend the time to do this, right? With the face? I think we're all expecting it to have full body tracking. Now, there's a weird thing about this person is the person that's been like leaking everything about it. Oh my gosh, they just released more pictures. They just released more pictures. Get out. What is this? This is my first time seeing this. Okay, so the controllers might be like... Anyways, it's a texture unwrap. Yeah, it's a texture unwrap of the controllers. But like, if you actually look at the pictures, right? These aren't like artist renders. This is like from IRL pictures, which is actually showing the actual headset itself. Okay. So let's take a moment to just quickly look at this. So apparently this is a recently released patent. So I don't think this is for full body tracking, and I think a lot of people are looking at this patent and assuming that this is for full body tracking. I don't think so. I don't think this is for full body tracking. I think this might be for something else. Cause like I've seen people speculate that like this is for like you need a mirror, you need to stand in front of a mirror to get full body tracking, and I'm just like, that seems kind of jank. And like, why would you release something that like has that, right? So like no one really knows, because like the thing is like they've moved away from base stations because they've gone all in on all out. So like this is why, this is like the biggest telling point of why this doesn't make sense. Right? It just doesn't make sense for them to add external cameras in this manner, because I think basically Facebook's like killing feature has been moving toward inside out tracking, which is the reason for that is that it's just a lot more user friendly and user adoptable. Yeah, this picture does make everything more confusing, because this actually looks like the older headsets, like the older headset tracking, like for the Oculus CV1. Outside in is just way better, But here's the thing. There's going to be a point where inside out tracking will probably become just as good as outside in tracking. Probably. Just because it's more how do you say, more user friendly. Basically what it is. So there's another video that I saw. Oculus Quest leaks. There's another one which showed the pass-through. I wonder if that tweet got deleted. I think it did. I think it got deleted. Well, there was another a thing where they're showing someone playing a game, and then family was passed. They're just being able to walk through, and so whenever someone enters your safety zone, it'll immediately have like a pass-through overlay so that you can see those things that enter your play zone. Basically, what it is. So like if your friend comes up to you and says, "Hey, do you want to get dinner?" Then like if they enter your play zone, then it's going to like show them as an overlay in your own world, and that's what they demonstrated. But the thing is, like, think about the original Oculus Quest and how many dead zones like it was supposed to have, and like how well it actually performed, right? And now imagine that they're doing the same thing, but with 1, 2, 3, 6 extra cameras. 6 extra cameras which can be moved around. Those cameras being on the controller. So we're not like right now. I don't think we should be up for any argument, because ultimately anything that we argue about right now will probably be answered in literally apparently tomorrow. But I think it's on the 28th. That's when Oculus Connect is, right? Oculus Connect 2021. Oh, sorry, it's called Facebook Connect. Yeah, in 2 days. It's in 2 days. So all of this is super, super exciting. Except for one thing. It's Facebook. It's Facebook. Facebook. So, why is this concerning other than Facebook being Facebook? Well, essentially there was a huge dump of information done by 17 independent news sources that have done their own independent research and also have gotten testimony from people who left Facebook. Basically, Facebook has gone full evil. And like, this isn't surprising to me because of how Facebook was founded, how they've always treated user data in terms of Facebook. Even if you say something is private, they basically have the same, how do you say, people from VRChat would understand this. The developers behind VRChat will say even if you upload something private, anything that's uploaded just consider free domain. And that's basically what Mark Zuckerberg said about any data that you put on Facebook. it's not their fault if something gets leaked that you put on your profile, that even if you set it private, which is like, wowzers, right? No apology, just, well, you should expect that, basically. So what we're talking about, Facebook should make sense because Facebook owns Oculus, and in order to use Oculus products, you have to have a Facebook account. There's even there's a new thing called Oculus, which is an application that someone's created to basically untether Facebook from the Oculus Quest. And then you lose all Facebook related features, including the Facebook Marketplace for games. So the only thing you can really use it for is connected to your computer as a Steam VR headset. I'm not sure if something like this would survive through to the newer Quest, but we'll see. But essentially, like, I'll give you the summary of what's happened. Facebook has been having a lot of disturbing choices, and one of the choices that I think is really important is Facebook's decision, led by Steve Zuckerberg himself. So apparently Mark Zuckerberg. So basically, Facebook is an aging platform, meaning that its entire user base is old. Actually, can I make a poll? Let's do a poll. Let's see. Bum ba bum. All right, I made a question. It should appear in chat, hopefully. You should see it appear at the top. Maybe. We'll find out. Yeah. Okay. So before we talk about the aging thing, we're gonna talk about Facebook and its decision in Vietnam. So basically, people were using Facebook in Vietnam to express their freedom of opinions and their disdain for the leadership of the government. And essentially, the government said to Facebook, we're gonna ban you from our country unless you allow us to have full control over it. And then Mark Zuckerberg came in and went, yes, we will allow this. And this choice is disturbing in many ways, because the main reason is that this shows that Facebook is more concerned about their business and how their business makes money and being in more places versus its own integrity or how people should be using it. And so we have our poll that we see. 52% of you say, gosh. 52% of you say 46%. Well, most of you actually say middle-aged adults or older. And we'll just let that poll run. So I'll just let you know that Facebook itself is an aging platform. Not many teens are on it anymore. this is actually a problem that Facebook is aware of, that their demographic is slowly aging up. And now a lot of people, that when they think about Facebook, they think that this is the place for their parents. And then your parents would be like, this is a place for my parents. Because most people think of Facebook as a way to like have profiles, to show each other's pictures, and to share each other's opinions. And the problem is, like, a lot of people don't trust what's posted on Facebook, because there's a lot of misinformation that has spread from Facebook. Because basically Facebook is like echo chamber incarnate. So like the only reason I've personally stopped using Facebook, I've actually have been very inactive on Facebook since university. And then the only reason I had to start using Facebook again, because it was required for work, because everyone at work used Facebook and I had to use it, and it was really dumb. But now that, you know, I'm working on my own, I only used Facebook as a placeholder for my username. And that's the only reason. And the reason I had to do that was because someone was impersonating me on Facebook. So I had to take down their account. And that's it. That's the only reason I have a Facebook account. So this is concerning for a number of reasons, because in terms of Oculus, Facebook is trying to pull a Google right now. They are rebranding themselves, I ended the poll, to be like a parent company which owns Facebook. And they're really, really pushing for this idea of a metaverse. What happens if I just search up Facebook metaverse? Do we get a picture of it? Are we just gonna get a bunch of cursed crap? All right, so here's their original, which was like Facebook Horizons. That it's never actually come out. People don't like it because it feels like a significant downgrade. And like, why would you want to be a version of yourself without facial tracking and without any legs? So the reason why I think it's very, very, very likely that there's going to be full facial tracking is because that's going to add that extra connection when it comes down to Facebook's plans for Facebook Horizons and their own metaverse. Full body tracking, I think, is just going to be a bonus. I do think it's actually a lot more likely now that there's going to be full body tracking given the leaks. But 100% there is going to be facial tracking. So this whole metaverse thing is that they're pushing super, super hard for the Facebook metaverse right now. And I think they're even putting up like millions of dollars of budgets for people to come in and create worlds. So basically, like, if you're a VR chat world creator, what, like let's say Legends, or the name is slipping me right now. Who's the person that made Murder in VR Chat? What's their name? Jar. If you're someone like Jar or Legends, why wouldn't you make a world in VR Chat? Why wouldn't you transfer some VR Chat worlds over to Facebook and like make that money, right? But the problem is that right now Oculus has a stranglehold on the VR market. So I know some of you out there don't have an Oculus headset for whatever your reason. You choose not to get one. I don't have one. I don't have one because it's like they're not full body tracking ready. But here's the thing. If the Oculus Quest 2 comes out and has facial tracking, 100% you can bet that I'm gonna get one. mainly because I want to get one because part of my income relies on doing facial tracking stuff. And however they're doing it, I want to be able to make sure that I can do the same thing for other people's models using an Oculus headset. Number 2, I believe, for VTubing is that right now, if this has full body tracking too, right? Is that imagine having access to a simple headset that's just these controllers, that headset, and let's say it costs under $400 and it has really high resolution. You can run your own, like imagine being in your own environment for VTubing. So like what I'm doing right now, imagine you have full facial tracking and you can see like your entire environment and interact with it, and you can see chat. Versus like right now, I just have a bunch of trackers attached to me and an iPhone strapped to my head. So like, that's the reason why I'm going to be getting it, because I think it is going to be game changing. I think it's a very much a first to market kind of a thing. Those are my personal reasons for wanting to get one. But for as an end user, I would say don't get one, because it's like basically making a deal with evil lizard people. So the thing about Facebook is that they're all of their entire money is based around getting user data and then selling that user data, right? That's what they do. The difference between Facebook and Google is that Google just figures out your user data and how to sell your data to advertisers based on what they figure out using their algorithm, right? So like, let's say if you have all of your tracking off, based on your browsing habits through Google, they can figure out a lot of things like your gender, your age, what kind of things you're interested in, all based on what you search on. Like they have an entire algorithm for that. Facebook's algorithm is not as good. And we know this because of how Facebook's been handling other countries and their adoption and them trying to stop hate speech and misinformation spreading on their platform, yet they can't stop it because their algorithm's not good enough, basically. Facebook, what Facebook's main thing is, they have the same kind of business that Google does, except they just take people's user data because you enter it as soon as you make a Facebook account. And then they use that. So why is this like very concerning when it comes down to Facebook doing a metaverse? Is because not only are they going to have your facial tracking information, not only are they going to have more information about your body, not only are you basically, you know, putting yourself in a world that they create, so that if they have full facial tracking, if you like, let's say, if your eyes like dart to something like, let's say, the color red, right? And you see the color red, and you constantly like spend more time, like microseconds, looking at the color red versus any other colors, they're gonna know that the thing that you like is the color red. And this can apply for a lot of other things, and then they can start serving you information based on that. Kind of think about like IOI from Ready Player One, because Facebook also made a patent on serving advertisements in headsets. They have a patent for that, to serve advertisements in headsets. And my first thought of that, and now with their whole Horizons push, is how much advertisement can we push to a human being before they have a seizure? And I was just like, great. Yeah, and the cameras are tracking your whole space. Exactly, Koala Wolf. Here's the thing. If the Quest Pro, like if it has facial tracking and it has full body tracking, I would consider using that for my setup. I would probably try to figure out a way to untether it, like with the Oculus. Just because I don't really trust Facebook with my personal information and or passwords. But with the Oculus, currently with the Oculus Quest 2, its full functionality is there. It's just you don't get access to the marketplace or anything else. Yeah. But the thing is, like I said, the reason why I got a Vive Pro I, so the headsets that I still recommend is, at this time, imagine there's no Facebook Connect happening in 2 days. At this time, I still recommend the Oculus Quest 2. If you don't like Facebook, get a Valve Index. And I always say, do what I say, not what I do. Because I bought a Vive Pro I. No one should buy a Vive Pro I. I bought a Vive Pro I because Vive Pro I plus the HTC facial tracker gives you full facial tracking in VR, and I needed it for work, basically. So right now, Facebook is kind of one of those things that we should keep an eye on. I think they're gonna set the trend of VR, because right now most VR headsets that are out there, on the most $6 headsets that are out there are Facebook headsets, and so obviously they're gonna be setting the trend. They're like, basically, Facebook right now, when it comes down to VR, they're Apple. and think about this. Apple went, what did Apple do? Apple went, we're getting rid of the headphone jack. And then what did every other company do? They got rid of the headphone jack. Apple's like, we're gonna make these thin and light laptops that have less ports. What did everyone else do? They made laptops without less ports. Because Apple's literally the trendsetter. Whether you hate them or not, companies do what Apple does. They do what Apple does. Like, they're the reasons why we have smartphones the way they are right now. They're the reasons why we have smartphones with good cameras, with like metal bodies, laptops with metal bodies that are thin and sleek. And I bet that all the companies that made Windows PCs that released less port heavy laptops and they like went full Apple, now that Apple has released a new laptop that has a bunch of ports, you're gonna see a return of ports. And the thing is, Facebook does the same thing with their Oculus Quest. Everyone was like, haha, Oculus Quest, that's so dumb. And then Oculus Quest 2 came out, Oculus Quest, so dumb, right? And then what we're seeing now is we're seeing a lot of other companies like the Lynx VR, and mainly in China right now, a lot of Chinese companies are like trying to emulate exactly what Quest does, to the point where like some of them have actually, what is it? What is that one Chinese headset called? Don't judge me. Chinese Oculus Quest 2. I can't remember what it's called, but if I see it, I'll remember it. This is it. This is it right here. No. This is it? What is it called? The Pico. Yeah, the Pico Neo. Pico Neo. Like, look at the Pico Neo and tell me that's not Oculus Quest 2 inspired. Right? Just tell me that this is not inspired by Oculus Quest 2. This is like the most popular VR headset right now in China. It got by Chinese Facebook though. That makes sense. If that's the thing, did they actually? Pico Neo acquired Facebook. I thought it was by TikTok. They were bought by TikTok. Yeah, ByteDance just bought Pico. Which is Tencent. Oh, Chinese Facebook. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like... Okay, because like right now, one of the big tech companies that are left in... that are Western tech companies that are left in China right now, I believe is the only one is Apple. So I was like, Chinese Facebook. Does Facebook even exist in China? I don't think they do. But the thing about Tencent right now is I'm pretty sure Tencent is kind of, with the new Chinese regulations, Tencent is kind of taking a nosedive. Tencent stocks. Yeah. Is there a way that I can see like a longer... I don't actually look up stocks, so I can't... I don't know. But basically what happened is China's doing a huge crackdown on like wealthy companies, and especially specifically targeting tech companies. Because like it was like the Wild West in terms of tech companies way back in the day. But like, so what you're seeing now is they're cracking down on big companies like Tencent and Alibaba and other companies like that. So like all their stocks are just like tanking right now. Try pressing year to date. Yeah, there you go. This is like around the time China's like, let's start cracking down. We're gonna crack down. We're gonna crack down. We're cracking down now. Yes, we are cracking down. And that's basically what happened. So things don't look good for Tencent. They're down, what is that? By quite a bit. But like I said, the thing is that they're cracking down on these companies because they had a lot of control and probably had a lot of influence. I would say if you're interested in this, founder of Alibaba. There's a really good video. Can I find it? Yeah, right here. This is actually like a pretty decent video. I'll link it in chat. I think it's worth watching just because it gives you a lot of insight into Alibaba, who he is, how tech has grown up from where it was to where it is today in China. So I definitely think that this is just worth watching just for just a pure informative take. That's it. Because like, let's be honest, what do we really know about China? Like, a lot of the things that we hear about China is China bad. And it's kind of like, what do we know? Not only are they another country which most of our news is fed to us by our own media, which might have their own agenda. They're also a country that has a really tight stranglehold on their own information and what information comes out of China. And we can only basically judge them based on a few choice actions. So like, we have a pretty decent idea, I think, of what goes on in that country, but we don't really know, which is the problem. Trinity, can you message, just add, like, here's the thing. How to set up your 3D model. If you have a question, you have two choices. How to set up your 3D model. One, you can ask me here. Two, you can join the Discord server and have someone from the community help you. And yeah, those are your choices. If it's something that can't be answered during a live stream, either I'll say, hey, I'll put you in the right direction, or this is too complicated, and then I can put you in the right direction. But other than that, if it's something that can't be done in a live stream and you don't want to do it on Discord, then I'm sorry. But like, basically my entire YouTube channel is dedicated to that. So, I mean, generally I get this question a lot on Twitch on how to do these kind of things. And I always have a video that I'm like, hey, watch this video. But like I said, to be very clear, is that when I'm saying Discord, I'm not saying join the Discord to message me or any of our moderators or administrators. I'm literally saying join the Discord, go to the VTubing section, see if there's an answer there for you. If there's not, then you can post a question there. Please don't message any of the mods or myself. Unless you have a server related question. And the reason I say that is because there's been a recent influx of people that have been coming in that basically go, oh, Discord, okay. And then they'll like, how do I contact admin of Discord, please? And they message every single admin. About Japan, so here's the thing. Most Korean and Japanese are actually have roots in Chinese language. So there's, because like I think for the longest time China was the only country that had its own written alphabet, and then other countries afterwards developed from there. But like, so like, for example, you see remnants of that right now in Japan which is kanji. You see remnants of that in Korea, which is hanja. You see references of that for like a country like Taiwan, which has that they use like super old Chinese that no one uses anymore. But yeah, that's basically all there is to say, I guess, right now about the new Oculus headset. We covered it in essentially an hour. All the relevant leaks and like anything else out there, like I know that people have made like full videos on speculation, but I think, I don't know why so many of them are focusing on that patent with the mirror. You know what? I could be wrong. Maybe Facebook is going to release like a Quest Pro 2 Max that has like, you know, has base stations and like requires you to have a mirror for something for full body tracking. Who knows? I really doubt it though. I really think that's for something else. Yeah, but Hong Kong is not really in an independent state anymore. I just consider Hong Kong China now. And I'm gonna guess that Cantonese is slowly gonna die over the years and it's just gonna be replaced with Mandarin. That's just how it is. No, it's gonna be replaced with Mandarin. Hong Kong is not its own independent state anymore. It's China. Hong Kong technically was always owned by China, and the only reason Hong Kong was able to be separated from China is because basically there was like a whole, if you go back into history, there's like a whole thing with the British Empire and Hong Kong was basically a state of the British Empire on lease for a certain amount of years, and after 100 years, they gave it back to China, and then you know, people of Hong Kong were like, this is very concerning, we want to remain independent, and China was like, you will remain independent, and then now Hong Kong is China. And I think anyone who says that Hong Kong is still Hong Kong and independent, they're deluded. Or very, very misinformed. And I don't think that's like a bad take to say that Hong Kong is China, because Hong Kong has always been part of China. Now, there's a key difference between Hong Kong and Taiwan. So Hong Kong was always part of China, but it was like on lease to another country, right? So it became its own city-state. And then now it's been like it's been reabsorbed back into China. Whereas Taiwan is a whole different story, which it's a whole different story, and it's very concerning. And basically China wants to do the same thing that they did to Hong Kong, but to Taiwan. And I hope that they're not going to do it, but given recent events and China's history of expanding in the ocean and recently flying military jets over Taiwan, we'll see. I know that Canada has committed to defending Taiwan, as other countries have as well. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. They're expanding in the ocean, yeah. What China's doing is they're building islands. That's like right now. That's the way that if you want to expand your own borders, you build islands. You increase your landmass into the ocean. That's what's happening. Taiwan is not worth going to war over. Are you kidding me? You know, I think, Tiberian, you need to look into history. You need to look into history. You need to, specifically, you should research World War I and II and the events leading up to World War I and II. And I think in both cases, there was a particular country that was very interested in taking over more landmass and other countries. And what happened is that a lot of countries were like, specifically for World War II, basically what happened was Germany was like, we're going to start taking over other places now. Okay. And then everyone in Europe was like, no, you can't do that. You signed a treaty. You can't. And then Germany was like, yo, okay. And then it's like, don't worry, we're not going to take over anything else. And they just kept taking over more and more of Europe. And they're like, no, stop, please. And then when it came too late, then that's basically when the war started. That's a gross simplification, I know. Hence why I'm telling you to do the research yourself. Don't just listen to me. John Oliver did a segment on this Sunday. Really? Well, I mean, John, okay, here's the thing. I really do like John Oliver. I may or may not use that as a news source. Did he do it? What do you know? He might have. But But the thing is, like, one thing you have to keep in mind, right? John Oliver is basically he creates how do you say, investigative reports and comments on things that generally I agree with a lot of the things that he says. But here's the thing, right? If you find yourself in a situation where like how does this make me different from someone who watches Fox and Friends in the morning and go, yes, I agree with everything they say, this is the truth. Right? How does this make me different? Well, it doesn't actually. How you make yourself different from that is if there's something that they talk about. And this is something that you feel is important. You owe it to yourself to do more research. See what the other side is saying. So if John Oliver is saying the world is red, and then Fox and Friend is saying the world is blue, what you need to do is the best thing to do is watch the other news source, see what they're saying, and then in addition to that, do your own research. And that's like the only way that you can kind of get some semblance of what's actually happening. Because like, as much as I would love to say that John Oliver is very neutral in the things that he says and what he reports on, I know that myself, I am not very neutral. I have a certain political leaning that may or may not agree with John Oliver. I really like his channel and his content. But I know I am aware of my own political leaning, and I am aware that John Oliver has a certain political leaning as well. And that's the thing that you need to keep in mind, is that when you're watching any news source, as unbiased as they try to be, they are still biased. And if a news source flat out says we are not biased, that is a news source that you should probably not watch. Yeah, that's a huge thing. Actually, yeah, exactly what Qualwolf says. One thing that's really respectable and a really good trait of a news organization is that they will call attention to their own mistakes and not just do like a cheesy edit, like a cheeky little edit, right? Like you see this all the time with other news corporations that are be like Donald Trump wears a wig ? And they'll make a whole a whole article about Donald Trump wearing a wig, and then when people are like, this is false, here's the evidence, they'll just make a little edit, like at the top or the bottom, edit, this article has been corrected, and it turns out that Donald Trump does not wear a wig. And you're just like, thanks for, calling it out, but like, people have already read the article. They're not going to go back and read the article again to see your little cheeky edit. This is as political as I'll get. Essentially, this is as political as I'll get. I won't go more political than this. Like, as you noticed, even though, like, some of you can very obviously guess my political leaning now, I never said which one I am, and this is like the closest I've gone to the line of discussing specific kinds of politics. Sorry, but my ancient Greek sources tell me the sky is green. Well, I'm sorry that you're wrong. The sky is not green. The sky is actually not green. According to my ancient Greek sources, the sky is a god. And the sky is actually the heavens, which is Uranus or Uranus. The sky is Uranus. Wow. The story basically of ancient Greek is that the earth is Gaia and the heavens are Uranus. And basically where the sky and the earth meet in the horizon is basically the story behind that is the heavens are constantly doing naughty and unconsensual things to the earth, and thus spawned the birth of the Titans. And that's where the Titans come from, is that the sky and the heavens made it, and then the Gaia, the earth, gave birth to the Titans. And that's the origins behind the Titans. So I had to look up because I couldn't remember what the name of what they called the heavens back then, but it's Uranus or Uranus. So I know actually a surprising amount about Greek history. In terms of ancient Greek history, I'm very aware of ancient Greek history up until the Roman Empire. Why streaming in YouTube? Why are you commenting on YouTube? Yeah, that's the history behind it. And then there's like the whole Titans thing, and then basically what happened was the Titans. What's the name of that main Titan? Ancient Greek Titans. If I see the name, I'll remember. The one that Zeus kills. Let's see. Cronus. That's his name, Cronus. So Cronus became like the head honcho of the Titans. And then from the Titans, so Cronus was like, yo, Gaia, I know you're my mom and all, but I want to, it's like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, basically what Cronus did was he severed the link between the heavens and the earth, which was Uranus and Gaia. You know, just like he got a pair of scissors and went chop chop and chopped it off. And then Cronus was like, that thing that my dad did seems like a good idea. I'm gonna do the same thing. And so Cronus was doing the same thing that Uranus did. But like he's like, oh, but it's prophesized that my own child will surpass me. So what he did was he like basically like plugged it up. He plugged it up. He just kept doing it, but he kept plugging it up afterwards. And eventually what happened was one of them escaped, which was Zeus. And Zeus was like, yo, hey dad, I don't like you plugging us in there, so I'm gonna fight you and you die now. And that thus was born the Greek gods that most of us are familiar with. Hades, Zeus, and the likes. They didn't have a word for blue, which is why the sky was green. Oh, that makes sense. What are your thoughts on diversifying? Here's the thing. What I'll tell you is that even though right now, so Twitch versus YouTube, so on Twitch, I get around 150 average viewers. And then by the end of my stream, I'll usually have a total viewership of around 1,000 to 2,000. Here on YouTube, I have an average viewership of like 30. And by the time I end my stream, I'll only have like, I won't have as many views, but after 1 week, my VOD will go from 1,000 to 2,000 views. And I think that's enough of a reason to say, hey, it's worth diversifying. Essentially, as soon as your VOD, your stream finishes on Twitch, your entire recording of that Twitch stream is dead. it has no purpose. Versus if you stream on YouTube, it lives on and gets pushed by the algorithm. Hi, kitten. I felt. Well, I already know my political leanings and my political beliefs, and inherently my political leanings and beliefs stem towards my own selfishness, which is I want what's right for me, and I think what's right for me is right for other people. Therefore, I will choose my political candidates thusly. Right? And I think most people have that kind of a stance. Not many people are going to go like for example, imagine if there was politics based on hot dogs, and some people are anti-hot dog and some people are pro-hot dog. Now, so no one's gonna be like, I'm anti-hot dog, but it's for the good of humanity that I vote for the person who is pro-hot dog. No, they're not gonna do that. They're gonna be like, I'm anti-hot dog and I'm gonna vote for the person who is also anti-hot dog. That's just what it is. And I think no one should like hot dogs because I'm anti-hot dog and everyone else should be anti-hot dog. That's just how it is. That's true, Jarno, but I still say it's an average of 150. Because that's usually what it, that's what it usually mellows down to. As a leader of the newly formed corn dog faction, I find this offensive. See, I'm perfectly fine with having discussions with people that have a completely different fundamental belief. But the problem is that if they are it depends on how good they are at talking, basically. If they're like, you're dumb, these are the reasons why, or they become very defensive and they're like you say, well, corn dogs are really unhealthy because of carbohydrates, and these are why carbohydrates are bad. Why not just have a hot dog? And then you're like, well, hot dogs have carbohydrates. Meat has carbohydrates. And then I'm just like, oh, I see. Because you see that all the time, and you're like, well, I don't want to talk with you because you're not being very discussion worthy. I'm willing to have a conversation. Obviously, you aren't, because I was just telling you the facts. And I'm just like, calm down. Calm down there. Calm down. Calm down. And the reason why I don't like talking about specific politics a lot is because you tend to get a lot of that, which is people will become overly defensive or start throwing in red herrings, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that. I doubt that's the reason I left Facebook. is because people just having these awful political takes and not willing to have discussions around it, and just would rather have their own personal echo chamber versus, accepting that other people might have a different point of view and may or may not be right. But yeah, that's my take on streaming. Hopefully that answered your question. My recommendation for you is that if you already have a large social media following, you could stream on Twitch. You could. I would say if you have no social media following, it might be better for you to start streaming on YouTube versus Twitch. Well, Australia is not just a country. Australia is a continent and a country. Oh wait, or we call that Oceania now. Who knows? But yeah, the way to grow right now for live streaming is basically make content on other platforms that's discoverable. Hey, YouTube is a discoverable platform. But the problem is that people will be like, I started streaming on YouTube, but I'm not getting any new viewership and people aren't finding my stream. Well, the thing is, like, you guys wouldn't be here if I wasn't already established on Twitch and I wasn't already established in videos on YouTube, right? And I realized that the time that I probably stream is not ideal on YouTube, but like, that's how it is. And the thing is, like, because of the way the Twitch contract works, is that the reason why I can do like like if I do in the morning YouTube and then later I can do Twitch in the evening is because YouTube doesn't have a clause where they're like, you can't stream the same content within 24 hours, right? Twitch has that clause. Now, technically you could say, well, your stream ended and you're streaming something completely different on YouTube afterwards. They can say, well, that's the same stream. It's like, well, there's hours of difference. Well, I'm Twitch and I choose to interpret the rules the way I want. And that's what'll happen. So I'm just playing it safe. I don't want to get banned, basically. From Leaf? Yeah, Leaf is great. Here's the thing. I'm just gonna tell you up front, I make more money still on Twitch than I do on YouTube. But like, that still doesn't change my stance of money doesn't matter in terms of content creation. So like when I make a video, I don't think like when my goal of when I make a video on YouTube is like, my end goal is not, I want to make money. My end goal is I make videos for two reasons. One, because I'm excited about something and I want to talk about it. Or actually, no, there's three reasons. Reason two that I would make a video is I think this is funny and I want to do it and make a video on it. Or reason three, people keep asking me this question. I'm tired of explaining myself. So I'm going to make a video on how to do it so that next time someone asks me, I can say, hey, check out this video. Those are the three reasons I make a video. I don't make videos to make money. Now, and I think that's a really good take to do, because if you make good videos on YouTube, money will come. Basically how it works, because more people will watch it, more advertising revenue, and so on. And I think you should bring that mentality to Twitch as well. So yes, I'm super thankful for people who give bits and subscribe, and yes, there's like sub goals and whatever, but like if I ever meet a sub goal, like I don't make a lot of goals. I have made goals, but I don't make a lot of goals over like, hey, this is a goal because I need money for some things. I just have a goal because statistically on Twitch, if you don't make like some kind of pointing to, hey, this is, you can subscribe, generally people just don't subscribe. So like if it's, whether it's a Prime or a sub, a tier 1 sub, it's like generally what you have to do is just be like, have that little thing down there or have like a chat reminder, and then people will subscribe. But like, I'm not going to be angry or sad if someone doesn't subscribe. The only thing that I really, really dislike when it comes down to Twitch subscribing is people coming in and be like, oh, well, I wish I could subscribe. Wink, wink. That's the thing I don't like. How do I feel about my Patreon? Stressed. I feel stressed. I will be doing a I will be talking about Facebook Connect. We'll be watching it on Twitch. But yeah, my Patreon, I feel stressed. Reason 4, or you did a subathon? Yeah, I still need to do, the reason why I haven't done another subathon is because I haven't finished fulfilling my subathon goals yet. And I feel that I can't do another subathon until I fulfill the rest of my subathon goals from a long time ago. yeah, I feel stressed about Patreon because I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with Patreon. And I'm worried that I feel like people need to like bring value. I need to give people value for their money on Patreon. But like, what stresses me out even more is people will subscribe to Patreon and go for like a voting tier or like suggesting video topics, and they'll never suggest a video topic. And I'm just like, and some people are like, I just like supporting you as a creator. And I'm like, this stresses me out. I'm stressed. So like occasionally on my Patreon, I'll just like, if I think I'm doing something cool that I'm not going to put anywhere else, or I'll preview it somewhere else, or I'll offer like a little bit of extra things. So like right now on my Patreon, there's something there, and then I've offered something that I wouldn't offer anywhere else, which is like, I'm not going to say it because I don't want people to actually go there and join my Patreon for that reason. Because I don't want to actually do it, but I will do it if people ask me to. I should, speaking of which, I should check to see if anyone's actually asked me to do that. Has anyone actually posted on that? I don't think so. No? Okay, good. Well, like, basically put it this way, right? If someone suggests a video, it doesn't mean that I will do a video on it on Patreon. It's just like, so like, they're like, oh, you should do a video on like 310A. And I'm just like, I guess. Or like, depend, like if it's something that I think I can do, if I can actually do it, I will. But if it's like something that's completely out of my scope or my realm, I just won't. But I'll say, hey, this is a really great idea, but I don't think I can do this justice. Here are other people that you can watch. Like, that's probably what I would do. It hasn't come up yet, but yeah, I need to figure out the Patreon thing a little bit better. Yeah, that video. I still need to do other things. But what's my opinion on rhythm games? That they're games that are rhythm based. That's my opinion. You know what I could do? Technically, this would be fulfilling it. I could just make a YouTube short. If I can fit it in 30 seconds, sorry, in 60 seconds, I think that would actually do better algorithm-wise. And I could probably put that on TikTok too, and that'd probably do really well. Now that I think about it. Yeah, so I might do it as a YouTube short. Hi, Syncridge. What is your icon? I can't click on it. Open image in new tab. Can I do that? Oh, it's so small. It's so blurry. Can't see. I think if I did another subathon, after I fulfill my current subathon goals, we'll see. Hop, hop, hop. could refund your patron, when you pledge to someone on Patreon, I don't think you can refund. You can cancel, but that doesn't like reverse your payment. It just means that like the next month you're no longer going to be pledging automatically. I think that's how that works. I think if I was bigger, on what I would probably add is like, I'd probably add like a watching tier so we could watch stuff together on Discord. That's probably what I would add, because there's Patreon integration into Discord. And the reason why I don't want to do it now is because if I put a Patreon limit currently on that, it would have to be at like I would want to do it at a tier that would be future proof. In terms of like, if I put it at like $1 tier, then that means like, let's say if I suddenly explode for whatever reason, then I'd be like, okay, I'm removing this from the $1 tier. There's gonna be like an outrage, right? So it would have to be at like a specific tier. But like, I also don't want to just be like hanging out one-on-one with someone in Discord for like an hour, because that seems very stressful. So I probably wouldn't do anything like that until like, if on Twitch I hit like around an average of 500 viewers on a regular basis, then I'd probably add something like that if I had the time. But like the entire thing would just be like an hour of watching probably anime, if anything. Cause like I haven't watched anime in a really long time and I'd love to start watching it again. I only recently watched what's that shonen anime with the guy with the blindfold? Shonen anime Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, I've only recently watched Jujutsu Kaisen. And that's just because like I had the opportunity to do it. Okay, so streaming on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously, the only way you're allowed to do that is if you are not affiliate or partner on Twitch. If you're affiliate or partner on Twitch, you are not allowed to simulcast. The only way anything that exists on Twitch cannot exist on any other platform within a 24-hour period. Meaning, technically within the Twitch rules, if you're an affiliate or a partner, if someone clips your stream, or you make a clip or you record something on stream, you are technically not allowed to upload it to anything else within a 24-hour period. So this also goes for live streams. You are not allowed to, if you have a live stream, you are not allowed to rebroadcast it or upload it anywhere else within 24 hours. Meaning you cannot stream to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Squid Game Discord watching? I'm watching Squid Game with Sly. And the problem is that if we did it on Discord, I'd probably just watch the entire thing. And that's another problem, is that I'll just watch. Generally, if we're watching something on, I don't know if I did do like a Patreon watching thing, it would always be my choice. And we'd probably end up watching something that I've already seen because I want to watch it again. And because I know that if we're ever going to watch something new, like Jujutsu Kaisen, it's literally like, it's going to turn from a 1-hour watch party to, hey, we got 12 hours, right? We got 12 hours. We can watch all the episodes. Well, I mean, like, I think the only things we'll watch will be things that I've already seen, or things that are brand new, so that are currently airing and that you only can watch week to week. So there's no possibility of actually like me binging it. And secondly, I don't think that while we're watching something, I'm gonna have everyone be able to speak. which means that the only way they can communicate is through text. And then I would say afterwards we'd probably like have an open discussion, and that's about it. So let mods run your community event? What do you mean? I already put so much on my mods. Right? Like, I know when you guys answer questions for other people in the Discord, and I know that you guys end up handling a lot of DMs of like people who are like, how can I message Fofa? Okay? And you're like, you can't. But tell me Fofa information, okay? And you're like, no. They've explicitly said no. I will send them email. So I know that you guys do a lot. Hi, Trilo. And I feel like adding extra responsibility only for you guys to handle seems very not good. Just hire mods? I don't have the money to hire mods. Just hire mods. Basically, how it's going is I would like to start my own business and then teach my employees how to do some of the things that I do. So like basically spend like a week of on and off training to teach someone how to do facial tracking, how to do clothing for someone who doesn't know how to do it, and then hire them. And then basically it'd be like a 50-50 cut. Just download more mods. Recruit. I'm not big enough to, I don't think I need more mods. I think if my mods say we need more mods, I'll probably go get more mods, but I think right now we don't need any more mods. Trinity, look at my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel that I have free VR mocap. It's a white background with me T-posing at the bottom. That's the video you need to watch. That is the video. Just download mods. Yeah, I'll just use the Nexus mod manager. And using the Nexus mod manager, I'll download more mods from there. There's a lot of great mods that you can get from the Nexus mod manager for a variety of things. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll just go there. Get some mods. Hi, Shonen. Watch out, they have to be compatible with each other. That's true, they might not be compatible with each other. Very true. Very true. I actually do have my own Minecraft mod pack that I made. I made it a long time ago because at the time there wasn't a mod pack. I wanted to play with some friends and there wasn't a mod pack that had all the things that I wanted or had extra things that I didn't want that caused server lag. So I ended up making my own mod pack for Minecraft. But it was only a locally distributed, so like it was literally an exe that I would send the people that would install the mod pack for them. So it wasn't like you could go on like a launcher and download the Fofamit mod pack. It was literally like I compiled a list of mods and then made an installer so that if I sent you the installer, it would install all the mod packs for you properly in the right location in the right order. And then you would be able to join the server because you would meet the mod requirements. But the problem is that in that mod pack, I included I included Mistcraft. Hey, MKA, thank you for subscribing to me on YouTube. I included Mistcraft, which is honestly like the best mod pack. Mistcraft mod pack. I don't think it's ever gotten an update. But yeah, the Mistcraft mod pack is basically based on Mistcraft. So you can like craft these books or make random books to discover new worlds. And then you end up in these new worlds. And like, depending on what's in the book will generate like a completely different world. And some of them could be stable, some of them could be unstable. And it's like, it's such an adventure every time. And like some of my best memories of Minecraft is using the Mistcraft mod pack, because it was like, it was so fun, it was so interesting. And like when I played, I ended up going on like this journey of, I lost my book home. So like, you notice how here he has a book home. What happened was the world became corrupted and the floor was falling to the void. And I died, so I respawned, but I dropped all the stuff in my inventory. And I went back to get my book, and the book fell into the void. So essentially my choice was either get infinitely stuck in this world of dying, or try to make a new book and get out. And so like I basically made a new, I went on like this journey of trying to make a new book to get out. And the only way to do it is like, because I couldn't make a book that would go back to the overworld. So I just had to make a random book, because that's the only thing I had time for. And I just went to a new world. And it was just basically me just world jumping until I could find my way home. Which was like, it took 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks of playing every day to get home. And it was crazy. And like on this entire time, I was also playing with my friends. And they're like, Fofa, where are you? And I'm just like, I don't know. This is the world I'm in. And like sometimes I would see like these really awesome resources, because a world would generate that would have all these cool resources in it that I've never seen before. So I'd like, as I'm traveling, I would like slowly gain all these things. And then like I would keep certain books for certain worlds that were like really cool, so I could have a place to return to later. But like, I never knew if I would actually get home and be able to play with my friends again. It's super, super cool. Yeah, that's the plot of Sliders. Exactly. That happened to me in Minecraft with like a server of like 10 people. It's like, it's the best Minecraft memory I've had. So like, I have a lot of good memories when it comes to that. At the same time too, like, I wish I had time to play more games, but I don't. Like, I keep thinking, oh, I want to play VR chat, because now I made that VR chat model, right? And I look at my VR headset, I'm about to put it on, I'm like, oh, I have work to do, don't I? So I just don't. Now you just want to watch Sliders? I could play Minecraft. I think the only way I could play Mistcraft, I'd be super down for playing Mistcraft on my, like, for Minecraft. I would 100% have to play that on a separate computer, because Mistcraft can destroy your computer. I think at the time I had like, what did I have? I had a 1090 Ti. So it was like a 6-core processor with... I had a 6-core processor and a GTX 570, I think is what I had. A GTX 570 with 16 gigs of RAM. I didn't have an SSD, but I had a hybrid drive, which was it had SSD caching built into the drive. And let's just say it made that computer cry. It made that computer cry. I would like, because the thing is like the Mistcraft worlds, they can be anything. So imagine you spawn into the world that has void for the floor, that has like parts of the floor are void, and there's no sky, and the entire sky is just gravel and sand. And so as soon as you load into that world, gravel and sand is just falling everywhere. So it's just like, oh, computer crashing, okay. Maybe it's more optimized now. The thing is, like, it hasn't been updated. Basically, it on a fundamental level, it hasn't been updated since 1.12. I know people have been trying to update it to 1.16, and like there's a version of it where someone made it compatible with 1.16. But the thing is, like, it's essentially on paper, it's only compatible with 1.12. And somehow, but the thing is, Twilight Forest now is so updated that it's doing better now. That modded server that I was playing with Mari and Iba, let's just say I lost all my cool gear and I got discouraged from playing again. Sounds like Minecraft randomizer, kind of. But see, the thing is, like, you could try to actually make your own world. So, like, just like you could in Mistcraft. So, like, what you could do is you can make an age, a book. And, like, you're like, I want this world to be full of diamonds. But if you make a world that's only diamonds, it's going to be super corrupted, basically. It'd be very, very unstable. So, like, you might go there and it's like, the world is, yes, it's full of diamond ore or diamond blocks. But, like, the world could be unstable. It could start falling apart. It can be poisonous. This, like, it can have all these negative effects. And, like, the key is, like, you want to have a world that's balanced. So I think eventually, like, the best world I made was I made a book that took me to a world that was a super flat world that was ore heavy. And the downsides to it was that it was eternal twilight, and the sky was like a weird color. And there was no water. Have you watched the VShojo modded server? I haven't. Can I be honest? I do follow some of the VShojo people. I generally don't have time to watch them. Like, because usually when they're streaming, either I'm streaming or I'm doing work. And so, like, I'm very unaware of what a lot of the VShojo people are doing. Which I'm not sure if it's a good or a bad thing. If that makes sense. Or, like, if they're streaming at the same time as someone else that I want to watch. So, like, usually when I want to watch Twitch, and I think when like when Iron Mouse is streaming, Iron Mouse is often streaming at the same time as Spats is streaming. And I just like watching Spats. So this is generally where I will go to watch a stream. Because Spats has like a really chill vibe. They're super talented at what they do. They have really great music despite, you know, I guess they don't care as much about getting muted. Because their music is great, but like it's also just like watching someone super talented do what they do. So like Spats right now, like arguably this is probably going to be Spats' like best model, because it's like a culmination of all the things that Spats has learned when it comes to live 2D rigging. Because that's just how it is, right? See, look at this. Like, this isn't even finished yet. And this is a 2D model. Their mod pack looks super fun. I think I think the VShojo mod pack is, like, I would argue that it might not be as fun, and the only reason it seems so fun is because you're watching people that you like play that thing. We couldn't update your Windows because the device wasn't free at the scheduled time. Oh. Wait an hour, thank you. But yeah, I just don't, I like Spats' streams because, for those reasons, and also it's a really good lurk stream. But like, look at this model. Look how good this is. And like, this is the reason why running live 2D can be just as heavy as running a full 3D model. It's because like, the amount of layers that you see in here, the amount of physics that's going on here for this to work the way it does, it's insane. But yeah, if you don't know who this is, I'll just drop their Twitch channel. Normally they're live in a few hours, not a few hours. Usually they're live in like 8 hours from now. So I recommend checking them out. Yeah. Super, super great. They've made a few VTuber models for other people, but what I really, really like about Spats' stream as well is that if you have questions, she'll share all of her resources that she's used to learn how to do what she does. So like, I think she has a YouTube playlist of things that she's learned, or video tutorials, and like, I'm pretty sure she's compiling that to share with their community. Yeah, exactly. So like, the only real downside to live 2D right now is just there's no full body tracking. But at the same time, I think that downside is an upside, because when you're doing live 2D, you don't need to have all this crap strapped to you. Because like, I have a bunch of crap strapped to me right now. Like, look at all these trackers. Most of these are connected to me, and then I have an iPhone mounted to my head. And then previously I had gloves, but you know how that worked out. Anyways, I did say that this stream would be a shorter stream. We can't really do raids. And I can't redirect you to other videos, which is super dumb. Because I really thought that you could redirect to your own videos, but apparently not. So what I can do is I'll send you to my IRL partner, Striker Sly. So Striker Sly right now, she is streaming Amori. She's only an hour in, so she's gonna be there for quite a while. So I'm not gonna have a message, but I will say, hey, check out Sly's channel. She's great. And I'll see you. Will I be streaming later today on Twitch? I don't know. I may or may not be streaming later today on Twitch. I don't know. If I'm doing anything live, then I'll announce it on my Discord. I'll give plenty of notice to do that. So if you want to know if I'm going to be streaming later today or on someone else's channel, like if I do like a co-op, then just join the Discord. You'll get a notification there before I go live. If I go live later today, if I don't go live later today on Twitch, like in the evening, then I'll see you on Thursday, where on Twitch, we're gonna be talking about Facebook Connect. And if you don't know my Twitch channel, twitch.tv, I have to type this in because I'm incompetent. Check out, oh God, that didn't work. HTTPS. Doot, doot, doot. There we go. Check out my Twitch channel. If I'm not live later today, I'll be live on Thursday, and we're gonna be watching the Facebook Connect event and talking about that. But anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. And my YouTube streams from now on are gonna be anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, just because I think that's the best thing to do, because anything beyond that, I tend to get really mushy brain. Anyway, see you. Thanks for hanging out. Check out Sly. Bye bye.